football, volleyball is going on, and some exciting times. I've got a team volleyball coach today. Daisha Ago is going to be on the show with us today, talking a little bit about volleyball and the Niwot Cougars going to state championships, I hope. The regionals are today. And then we're going to talk first to Tommy Falk. Tommy is a quarterback in North Dakota. He's in Jamestown, North Dakota with the Blue Jays. And Tommy will be with us right off the bat right here this morning. So let's get rocking and rolling. Couldn't ask for better timing than that. Good morning, everybody. This is Lowell Whiteman, your host of 360 Performance Talk on KUHSdenver.com. Great to be here. Great to see my international fans out there. And today, I'm excited because it's playoff prep. That's the preps, high school kids. High school playoff preparations for tournaments. We've got two sports represented today. The first one is football. The second one is girls volleyball and women's volleyball, And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with that and making sure that we give you some insights about, what it takes to get ready. And it's no different than if you're a pro or an amateur athlete, high school or college level. The routines you go through are pretty much the same. It's the degree of energy and expertise you put into it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that from two perspectives. One is the quarterback from a high school in North Dakota. We're going to talk to Tommy Falk, QB with the Blue Jays, the Jamestown Blue Jays. And Tommy's going to share his insights about getting ready as a quarterback, a three-sport athlete as well, and a pretty stellar student, I would say. I know his mom and dad would agree with that. So Tommy is going to start off our show early. I interviewed Tommy yesterday because getting prepared for the show and also for his game Saturday, he will be in practice and in school today. So that's where we filmed it yesterday. So you'll see him in a few minutes. And then we're going to bring in Daisha Ago, the head women's volleyball coach at Niwot High School. She'll come in live about 1:30 and share with us her team preparation as a coach. Really excited about that. So in a few minutes, we'll bring Tommy in. But before I do that, I want to just make a mention of a couple things. What's going on with the NFL? There's some really great things. On November the 12th, I believe, it's Veterans Day. That's when Veterans Day is observed. And when we observe that, we're going to be celebrating the great courage and commitment our men and women in service have given us. And the NFL is going to salute their service. Let's see, what's the day here? They're actually through the weeks of week 9 through 11. So that would be next week and 2 weeks after. We're going to have the salute to service has raised over $26 million since 2011 for military and veteran not-for-profit organizations. The core support the NFL gives is to the Bob Woodruff Foundation, Pat Tillman Foundation, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, or also known as TAPS, the USO, and the Wounded Warriors Program, which is a project. Wounded Warriors Project, which is a very well-known project. The fund programs and the funds support programs and provide resources that improve the lives of service members, veterans, and their families. The league also partners with USAA and official NFL salute to service partners to work together to honor and recognize service members and veterans with unique experiences around the NFL. So there's going to be a full calendar of events. There's going to be a number of video presentations on the networks. I'm trying to get you some dates here. So the salute will go through November the 19th. The NFL salute to service program goes through November 19th. But remember, next week is the honoring veterans next week or is it next week? I think it's the 12th, but I'll get that for sure. So, in a couple minutes, we're going to bring you our show segment that I taped yesterday with Tommy Falk and share that with you. I'll interject a couple things during that programming. So for you, you folks on Facebook, you can join me, or you can still watch it. It's going to be you're going to watch it right there on the screen. It's right behind me. It'll pop up there soon enough. So the other thing I wanted to mention was my energy's up today because I'm going to be at the regional tournament at Niwot High School. They're hosting their regional tournament.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the broadcast. It's Friday. Every Friday, 11 o'clock, we talk about performance issues on 360 Performance Talk. I'm your host, Michael Michael. And you can tell this isn't the studio. This is my office. And it's my office because I'm recording this today in my office the day before the broadcast. And I'm going to talk about, as we do every year about this time, about prep playoff sports. In this case, it's football. We've got volleyball going on. We'll be talking to a volleyball player tomorrow in the show as well, who's going on to the regional tournament. Is not as far along as the football guys are. We're going to talk today with Tommy Falk. Tommy Falk is the quarterback of I love this team's name, the Blue Jays, the Jamestown Blue Jays in Jamestown, North Dakota. And the reason I picked Tommy is because I had a chance to watch Tommy play with his teammates earlier on in the season and was impressed with the amount of commitment and effort and energy they put into the game. It's not the biggest school on the planet, but it's the most competitive one I've seen at that size. And they're going to play the number one team in the state for the semifinals on Saturday. And what time, Tommy, is the game? 1:30 in the afternoon. That's probably a good thing in North Dakota to play in the afternoon versus the nighttime.
Yeah, plus it's very good weather either. So.
Yeah. So Tommy is the quarterback. He is a junior at Jamestown High School. They're going to be playing Shanley High School at the Shanley High School home field advantage. When they win and go to the finals, Jamestown Blue Jays will be playing in the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota for the finals in a little less than a week, I would imagine.
Yes.
So, Tommy, the first question I have for you is, I mean, you're a three-sport athlete. You play hockey, you play football, and you play baseball, right? Okay. So, in baseball, what's your position?
Catcher.
See? The leadership thing, right here. Solidarity. I was a catcher. I loved it because it let me talk a lot. And I got to tell people what to do. So that was aces for me. So I was a catcher as well. Now, in hockey, are you defense? What do you play there? Cool. Okay. Not a lot of skating backwards, right? You want to keep going forward and score points.
Sure.
Okay. Well, so that being said, with football coming up on Saturday, you're going to be facing a competitor that in the past you lost to them by an average of 2 points. So you got more than a fair shot at this.
Yes.
So what do you think is going to be the key for you, not just the team, but for you to stay focused on to put your best effort against this team?
It's just even the whole team is playing a clean game. That's going through my reads, making sure calls are in right, or even the lineman making sure every assignment's blocked. It goes throughout the board, just playing a clean game.
So, and when you say clean game, you mean all three aspects then, too, special team, O&D.
Yes.
And in your particular size high school, you've got guys who are playing both ways, right?
Yeah, well, everyone except our starting lineman played both ways.
Nice. And I think that's a lost art to play both ways. You get a greater appreciation for the game.
That's most teams in North Dakota, though, playing both ways.
Yeah, and do you still have 7-man football there?
With 9-man, and then there's I think there's a 6-man.
Yeah, okay, so you have that full pads, 9-man, full contact, it's not flag football. Yeah, that's also very interesting. So for my audience, they should know that football is a game that was played in the back lots in many towns. And it was only because somebody decided, hey, let's go out and play 11 guys and see if we can get some people come watch us. And it's sprung up on the East Coast. So when you're playing the number one team, you mentioned a clean game, so that talks about execution.
Yes.
When I talk to commentators and coaches, many times the things they talk about are the intangibles. What are some of the intangibles that you call upon for yourself to kind of get yourself ready before the game even starts? Before you even hit the field, are there any intangibles you focus on?
I'm a very superstitious person, and things I have to have before the game, like the meal I have, what time I do it, what time I eat, who I'll go throw with before the game, or when I like to throw, how I like to throw. So, yeah.
How do you pack your bag? I know for me it was I had to have certain things in a certain place in my bag before I left the house to get to the gym or to the field. Do you get that superstitious or certain things in your bag?
Not necessarily my bag, more like what I'll be wearing. Like if something, you're going hot, wearing this shirt, keep wearing it.
Does it smell and stand up on its own?
Well, I mean, it gets washed. I'll make sure to wash it. I'm not that crazy.
That's good. My mom thought I was pretty crazy. I had a pair of shorts that felt really sticky after a while. They stand up on their own. So, do you have any other teammates that kind of get into that superstitious thing too? You got teammates that you kind of talk about keeping true to your superstitions?
I mean, most people are usually pretty themselves, like what they do. I don't know of anyone that really does it. I know people who, like, group of us, we all go, like, eat at Subway before the game, or yes.
So do you have, are there certain guys on the team that you want to make sure you touch base with to help you maintain your mindset, maintain that edge?
Not necessarily mindset, like what I'm personally looking towards, but like keeping my goals straight, yes, like them making sure they're a part of it, as in like my throws, like I throw with a receiver that, you know, we have a good connection with. And my co-workers I have a good connection with.
So I'm guessing there's probably the primary look you're looking for on your reads.
Oh, yes.
So have any of your coaches said to you in pregame, make sure you throw the right color jersey?
I don't think they ever said that, no. But
well, one of my pro coaches I've worked with, he always said to the quarterback, no matter who it was, no matter how talented they were, he would remind them, make sure you throw to the right color jersey. And, you know, you get that kind of like twisted look from the player, like, Coach, really? Really? So at the high school level and being a quarterback, you've probably been faced with some leadership decisions you had to make. Are you looking forward to making some decisions for your team this weekend that are going to help some of your teammates be better than you expect? Like, I know you do a good run-pass combination. So are you looking for somebody to really, with your help and your encouragement, have a really great game?
Well, it's the big boys up front, keeping them involved, keeping them off, knowing that, like, we need them and support them in it, making sure they're keep going.
Now, you probably have a more personal interest in that because I know that you run a little bit. Yeah, you're not just a pure passer. I know I like the way you threw the ball, the way you make your reads when I saw you play, but I also was very impressed with the fact that you're not afraid to make a play with your feet. Keep yourself moving. Are there certain plays that coaches have set up for you that we can anticipate seeing on Saturday?
For me to run?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plays in for me to run. If I mean, it kind of depends how the game goes. It could be more runs than usual. It could be we throw the ball 30 times. I know that'll happen, but just see what happens.
So when you compete with this team in the past, what has worked for you in most cases? What are the things that you're looking forward to doing well?
They do a good job of keeping everything in the middle of the field and guard the boundary pretty well. So it'll be find the middle and hopefully the big boys up front, we can do some bodies and help the ball along too. That's
Well,
what
and based on what I've seen doing my homework, which I do with my interviews, I do my homework. You guys tended to move pretty well against their front defensive line.
This last time we played them, yeah, we played a pretty well game offensively for the most part.
So
better.
do you guys have a particular, is there a number I should be looking for running backs that are gonna draw to on the run a little bit more often than you?
We had our star running back who was playing, he was pretty locked in and he was good for 200 yards rushing a game for a good stretch.
Gosh. What's his number so I can make sure I watch for him?
He got hurt. He broke his ankle 4 weeks ago.
Ouch.
Had him. And we've had number 32, Chris Erickson, who's been in on most of the short yardage. And then number 6, he was a receiver. We moved him to running back, and he does more of the longer stretch and toss type things.
So, are you going to play defense as well?
I've had 3 defensive snaps all year.
That's probably a good thing for you as a quarterback.
It's nice.
One of your other fans there just said his piece. So what are some of the things that have been obstacles to your success against this team in the past? What are some things you're going to want to make sure you and the team step up and do a little bit better job of coming into Saturday's game?
The last big drive. Last 2 times we played him, just came back to the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, driving down and finishing a drive, which it happened my sophomore year. We were down, I want to say 7, and couldn't punch it in. And now, again, last time, I think we had the ball close, almost finished it. And it's just that last big drive we need to get over the hump with.
So, what do you say in the huddle, Tommy, when you want to help your teammates make a play? Like you say, get over the hump and drive that through and overcome the obstacles from the past. Are there certain things that you want to say and should say, and is it to a line in total, or is it at any
place for everyone? It's believing. I mean, knowing this is going to be the play, they'll punch it in, or just all playing as a unit, believing.
Yeah, now you're going to have some factors you don't control. You mentioned one earlier, and that's the weather.
Yeah.
How have you guys done in the past with, of course it's North Dakota, so there's bad weather looming all the time. How have you done in the past with weather?
We haven't had to deal with it too much. We've never had we've had windy games, and usually it's a run. It's a big.
Well, that's a bit of a pause right there. We're going to take a break for just a second and remind you that we're talking to Tommy Falk, quarterback at the Blue Jays in Jamestown, North Dakota. They're going to play their semifinal tournament game on Saturday against the number 1 ranked team in AA football in North Dakota. And what I want you to note here is in the second part of the interview that we're going to finish up the half hour on is Tommy talks a little bit about himself. I try to get something out of him, but you can notice that the kid's cool. He's a 3-sport athlete, hockey, football, baseball. He's been to tournaments before. This is not a new thing for him. But for many of his teammates, their first playoff game was last week in the first round of the regionals, where they won their first round in the playoffs to get them to the semifinals. So with that being said, I want to remind everybody that we've got great information on my website. Go to 360mindset.com. That's 360mindset.com. Go there, check out some new updates there. Also know that the next few weeks in high school sports all over the country is huge. And you should be aware of all those wonderful athletes out there working hard to take the next step in their performance and their successes. And Tommy is one of those. At the end of the half hour, we're going to connect with Daisha Ago, the head coach at Niwot High School. The girls volleyball team is going into their regional tournament today at 2 o'clock. And winning that regional will boost them right into the state tournament. I'm looking forward to being there myself and cheering them on and seeing how they handle this next level of being a regional champion. So, with that being said, let's continue with the rest of the interview with Tommy Falk and hear what he has to say. And at the end of the half hour, we'll share and hook up live with Coach Daisha Ago of the Niwot Cougars women's volleyball team.
Push up front. That's, if it gets to that, it's probably going to happen. The weather gets that bad.
Do you think that you're going to have the advantage if the weather goes against the play? If it's bad weather day, do you think you guys have the advantage?
I think it goes both ways. We're in a way similar teams at this point.
Yeah.
How we play, but we'll see what happens. I don't know what we're going to see from them for sure because they've showed different looks all year.
So when you get in that locker room, you first walk in and you're getting ready to kind of get yourself settled in, and you're going through your routine. Are there certain moments where you're looking for a teammate that you want to make sure they're in the same place you are mentally? Or are you all pretty much staying on your own?
I'm usually pretty much on my own, but the coaches and everyone else make sure it does a good job of keeping everyone on task. I don't have to worry about it necessarily.
Has there ever been a time where you wanted to make sure that you made a connection with a teammate, especially during playoffs?
Like last week, we had a center kind of get in his head and had a few penalties and got a little fired up. Or a defensive end that was getting fired up and taking stupid penalties and talking him down. That's really it for the most part.
What are some of the things you say to your teammates to talk them down away from doing another penalty? That's the big thing. So they do it once and they do it again.
It kind of depends on the situation. But usually, we're going to get another play, we're getting another chance at something, and it's going to go the other way next.
Yeah, that's interesting. One of the things I say to my pro athletes is stay on the process. Get them focused on the task that they do well. So if it's alignment, make sure your footwork is there. Make sure you initiate the punch. Counter the defensive technique. If it's a skill position, make sure you're running your routes crisply and precisely so that you get the good separation for you. Are you doing that during the game, reminding your teammates of the process and keeping them focused on the job at hand?
Yeah, it mostly goes to receivers and just how they're running the routes and making sure they keep running crisp routes.
Do your receivers double as D-backs?
Yes, two of them. Yeah. For the most part.
So let me ask you a question. You mentioned one of your running backs had fractured his ankle. How's your ankle doing?
It's better. It's gotten better as the season went on, but we're dealing with it fine.
Yeah, I know. That's what I heard. That you're that kind of take us all to run a lap kind of guy. Just let me keep after it.
Yeah, sure.
Because you hurt that ankle in the game that I watched.
Yeah.
And even when you were gimping around, you still executed pretty well.
Could have went better, but can't change it now.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like you've got that ankle back. It's there, probably not 100%, but you've got it back to perform where you want it to perform.
Yeah, it's been like that for 2 weeks now. We've been pretty good.
Yeah. Now let me before I let you go about football, we'll come back to it. I want to ask you a little bit about hockey because that's starting to heat up a little bit out there. Are you going to miss some practices while the playoffs are going on?
If we win this next one, yeah, I'll miss the first 2 days.
And I'm guessing there's probably a few hockey players on your football team.
On the varsity team, I'm the only one. There's a few younger JV sophomore kids that. Yeah.
So, what do you do for yourself to keep your mind on football? Because there's a lot of stuff swirling around. I mean, you're a good student. You're a 3-sport athlete. Hockey's coming up. How do you handle the distractions coming into the playoffs?
I've never really had a problem with the distractions. It's just when I'm at football, I'm playing football. Nothing really else.
It's a different sized ball, too. It's not a round plastic puck.
Yeah.
It's easier. There's a little difference. You're not wearing skates either, even though the field may seem slippery. So when you're at this stadium, is there anything about that environment that gets in your head at all? I mean, it's a football field, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I've never had a problem with crowds or feeling.
yeah, because how many guys is it the first time that they're in a playoff?
For our team,
Yeah.
well, we had a home playoff game last week.
Okay.
And then, but yes, this is the first time we've played in a semifinal game in 25 years. And it was like 15 years. Last year was our first playoff game. Home playoff game, I think.
So are any of your teammates dwelling on that, or any of those, because adults tend to be the ones who say, 25 years, they start, because it's not them. They're not you. Any of your teammates need to kind of bring them down off of that a little bit?
I don't think anyone's really too worried about when the last time was. And we know, but we also know who we're playing and what we know we should do.
Yeah, one of the things that by the way, this impacts college ball players I work with, professional ball players I work with, staying in the moment. Like you said, we're playing today. We're practicing today. Nothing about what anybody said outside of this field matters. It's right now. Stay focused on the now. When your coaches talk to you, does there come a time when you cross the line that we just got to do? But the people say is great, but we just got to do it.
True. I mean, that's what this last week has been about, and just we got to execute this now and get it done. We can talk all we want.
Besides yourself, Tommy, are there any key spots on the team that you expect greatness from? I know you've got a couple of receivers that are primary targets for you.
We have two very good receivers. Another one, sophomore, he's going to be good. I got a senior tight end that's very good tight end.
What's his name?
Marcus Wilcoulter.
And what's his number? Probably in the 80s, right?
I couldn't tell you for sure.
Okay, I'll look it up. So one of the things I want to remind our audience about is that we're talking with Tommy Falk. He's a quarterback at Jamestown, North Dakota High School, and they're the Blue Jays. I love that. It's appropriate. And it doesn't get any kind of political conflicts, like being an Indian name or tribe. In addition to that, they're playing in the semifinals of the state playoffs of AA class, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And you're going to play Shanley High School. And is Shanley number one ranked in the state, or is it just seeded number one?
They're number one in 2A. They have not lost all year.
Okay, so they're undefeated as well.
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, you guys, you know how to win against them.
I mean, we know the formula to do it, but again, it's about doing it.
And like you said, the coaches are focused on execution and doing the job. So what advice would you give to other high school athletes going into playoffs this season, whether it's girls going into volleyball playoffs or track or cross country, in this case football, which gets a lot of attention. It's one of the major sports in the country. What would you say to them about getting their mind right and their mind set in approaching those challenges?
It's a whole new season once it comes playoffs, no matter what's happened before in the season or what you came in seeded. It's about who's hot and who's playing well.
And you guys are playing pretty well.
Yes, as of late, we finally turned it on and figured things out.
Yeah. So would you say to another high school student that focus on what you do well, make sure you deliver that?
Yes.
And
yes.
When faced with an obstacle, the other team's going to do it too.
Yeah.
So when the others, I'm hoping the coaches don't necessarily use this analogy, but in some of the pro and college ranks, coaches have said, If they punch you in the mouth, you punch them back. Figuratively speaking, of course. It's match the power with equal power or better. So when we handle that adversity and those challenges like that, I call that resiliency. Have you seen resolve in yourself, and what have you done to get yourself back on track quickly when you're faced with a challenge?
I mean, if it just getting back into a groove, trying to get myself back in, like mid-game or something, like I'll usually be taking a few throws to get going in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting those few, get them going, starts building. Everything gets better after that.
So are you saying to me that the first completion you make is where I should be really paying attention because you got that one success under your belt?
Yeah, it just starts building confidence back and getting it going.
You'll like this because Fran Tarkenton was a Minnesota Viking, and Fran Tarkenton was not the tallest guy on the field, especially as a quarterback. He was also not known to throwing the long ball. He made the 6-yard out, the 6-yard cross middle throws classics because he did them well and he expected great routes to be run. What are some expectations you have for yourself for Saturday?
Well, hoping the weather is well. It's going to be, taking my spots smart and staying accurate with. We're more intermediate and short.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit the long bomb and just stay in myself and make the right reads.
So it sounds like you're a grinder and getting it done. And in the future, I might be calling you Fran Tarkenton. I don't know.
Never know.
Yeah, you got the build, and who knows what's going to happen in the future? Desire and time are the tell of the tape on where we go from here, right? Let's see if we can get you to a state championship game in a few days.
Sounds good to me.
Gosh, that might be a reason for me to fly to Fargo.
There you go.
Yeah, I could dig that, especially because it's in the dome.
Yeah, I won't be cold in there.
Yeah, the weather won't be our adversary. Listen, Tommy, I want to thank you for taking the challenge that I presented to you and speaking with me. I know you've got a hockey meeting coming up this afternoon.
Yeah.
We'll get into. And then you'll shift gears and get back into that football mindset for tomorrow and Saturday. Is it a light day tomorrow? Just kind of a light walkthrough?
Yeah, kind of. We just go through our plan for the most part for the game, defensive, special teams, make sure everything's dialed in and locked in.
Yeah, you got a team dinner too, or you guys go eat on your own?
We have a team dinner too, yes.
Excellent. So for the audience who will watch this on Friday at 11 a.m. on KUHSdenver.com, that's where you hook it up live at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. But you can also see it on YouTube, where we post it and video and be out there. This is 360 Performance Talk. I'm your host, Lowell Whiteman, and every Friday, right here in Colorado, at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, you can see us talk about and with people who represent the performance that maybe you should have. And we're talking to Tommy Falk today. He's a quarterback at the Blue Jays in Jamestown, North Dakota. They're going to go against, in the semifinal game of the state football tournament, AA football tournament, they're going to go against Chamblee High School at the Chamblee High School arena. Remind everybody that if you support Tommy, you can also support the Minnesota Wild. That's his favorite hockey team. And you're going to support the Minnesota Vikings. Got a Minnesota theme going if you haven't already saw that. And baseball, can you guess? It's the Twins. Thanks again, Tommy. I really appreciate it. Have a great day today and a wonderful semifinal win.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Tommy Falk. We're back live in the studio, and I'm going to remind Coach Ajo, would you please accept my invitation on Facebook Live so we can bring you in and split screen you with us. I sent an invitation to your Facebook page, so accept that invitation, and I can welcome you in. We'll bring in Coach Daisha Ago to the show and talk about, from a coach's perspective, what do you do to prepare for the playoffs? And reminding everybody that the playoffs there's football playoffs going on in all parts of the country, in various states. as well as volleyball. Their regional volleyball play starts today in Colorado for women's volleyball across all divisions, 5A all the way down. We're going to talk to Coach Daisha Ago. She is the head coach for the Niwot Cougars volleyball team, 4A class. They're going to go against Mullen High School at 2 p.m. And depending on how things go in that first round will determine who they play at 5 p.m. It's the winner, the best record in the regionals that goes on to state. So I'm going to, Daisha, I'm going to try this again. I see your message there. Let's get you going. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, folks. We're going to finish and re-enter. Okay. And then we're going to go back live again. Here we go. Live video. Here we go. And we're back. We're back live. And Daisha, I'm going to bring you in. So I thought. Invitation coming to Daisha Ago. Do you see it on your Facebook page? I hope. There we go. I'm waving at her. Okay, I waved. Now I'm going to invite her in, I think. We're back with Henry. Okay. This is not good. Okay, well, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Oh, gosh. People, you get to watch me play with my bag and adjust and adapt to technology. It's awesome to do that because we can. And we're gonna bring Daisha in by phone, online, and share with you. So Daisha, you've got your phone there. You're listening to me through Facebook Live, and I'm going to bring you in on the phone. Okay, here we go. Calling Daisha. Where is Daisha? I don't know if I can hear her or not. Daisha, are you there? Okay, I'm going to tune you up a little bit, get you up on the... Can you hear me? Awesome. I love technology. Technology is so much my friend. So, Daisha Ago is on the phone with me now instead of Facebook. I wanted to have her on here with me, but that doesn't always happen the way I want. Good morning to Andy and Betsy. Good to have you with me this morning. So, Daisha, you're the coach of the Cougars at Niwot High School. You have your regional game today. The first regional game today is at 2 o'clock. And who are you playing again? Excellent. So now just give me the plan here is that you have to have the best record of wins versus losses in the regional to go on to state, correct? And that would mean you've won your regional. So you would be regional champions as a result of that. Okay. So with that being said, what are the things that you're prepared to say to your team today in getting them prepared and aroused for competition today?
now. We call it cougar volleyball or cougar style ball. So hopefully they're on board with that and can stay calm and relax.
Now, is there anything unique about the size or talent that you have on your team that sets you apart from your competition?
Yeah, I would say so. We've got some amazing talent on this team. I'm walking in with 8 seniors, 4 of which have quite a bit of experience playing at the varsity level and at club levels as well. I've got 2 phenomenal middles that are both committed. One's going to Wake Forest and the other to the College of Charleston. And then I've got a setter and an outside hitter that have committed to play volleyball for School of Mines. So looking forward to seeing them just execute and play, and they are a blast to watch. But yeah, their commitment to volleyball over the years has really paid off, and hopefully we can demonstrate that tonight when we get into the run for the state playoffs here.
So, Daisha, when you watch them play, as a coach does, pacing up and down the sidelines, trying to stay focused on you and not you as a player, because we don't play anymore. What do you? What are some of the things that you see in their faces that tells you they're having fun?
Just the excitement. They get a perfect pass, and then our hitter gets to go up and hit the, not out of the ball, and that passer knows that hit was fully because of their execution. You can tell their excitement, their driven, their determination just in the eyes. It's really fun to see, and you can tell this is a really competitive group, and they get fired up when something goes really well. They just love it, and they feed off of it with each other. So a lot of fun to see. As a former player, that competitive side is definitely still there in me. And so, being able to kind of pass that on and see that in the other players too, I know they're looking at great things in the future, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, and I have a little bit of insight because I get the chance to see some of the things you do, and I know that you've got some very expressive young women when they have things both go their way as well as not go their way. But what I agree with you, that their body movement, their level of expression, they really like each other. That is just something you don't see a lot of at any level, that they actually demonstrate in very figurative ways that they like each other and they enjoy playing each other. Now, how do you know when you're seeing them play? How do you know that they're focused in? I mean, I know I see the facial expressions, but is there certain movements that you look for to say whether or not you need a timeout to bring them together, or what are some of the things you see that you say, hey, it's going, it's flowing, I know they're ready to go?
Yeah, I focus on body language quite a bit on the court, movement on the court. If they're moving well with each other and communicating well with each other, I'll see lots of just nice body language and communication and eye contact and that kind of stuff within themselves on the court as a team. They're not looking at me at the sideline. Obviously, when things are going well, I don't need a lot of reaffirmation of, was that good? Was it something I need to work on? The minute they start looking to me a lot more, I can tell there's a little bit of doubt that's coming out with the team, or they're looking to Madison or Sutter quite a bit.
Yeah.
Instead of just trusting what they do. So usually it's when they start questioning things over and over again, that's when I'll call a timeout just to calm them back down, reaffirm them that they're doing the right things, or just make these little tweaks, these little changes, and they're going to be fine. But for the most part, it's mostly body language, and then when they stop talking, that's an indicator that I definitely need a timeout.
There is I've learned so much from watching you coach as well as the girls play and compete. And one of the things I see at this level in playoff time is the aggressiveness of the strikers. Striking at the back line, finding those spots on the floor against the defense they're playing against. Are there things you say to the ladies, especially ones that they're in the back line a lot on rotations, in preparing for those, just demonstrative strikes? I saw some strikes at some of the games that you're at that these girls they're giving their bodies up to get in front of the ball and make a play. What do you say to them to keep them resilient and focused in on that kind of accepting those balls coming at them pretty strong and pretty firm?
So in serve receive, my back line, usually I just tell them to stick the pass, push it right to Madison so that we can get what they call a banger ball.
Mm-hmm.
Their terminology, and that's fine. I'll use it. They know what I mean when I say it. So, but the minute we get that perfect pass and the girls see it as it's coming off of the passer's arm, the strikers know that they are about to get a perfectly set ball that they can just put wherever they want on the court. My setter is smart enough that she can move the ball according to where the defense is set up or where the blockers are, and so those hitters know that they're going to have a single block and a perfectly set up ball for them to just put it down anywhere on the court. Well, usually it starts with the back row, and the minute we get that pass, it's on, game on.
Well, let's make the connection, because I asked you what do you look for, and see, I know that there's almost like a dance of the movement of the ladies on the floor, and they are so aware of each other. So during the playoffs and the regionals today, are you watching the defense more than your own offense to make calls about rotations and offensive sets? Because you've got a very intuitive group of young women. They know each other pretty well. Or are you letting them just kind of make their own decision and feel it and find it on their own?
I give them clues when we start the match, just as far as what we've seen from scouting and film and that kind of thing, as far as where we're going to start out. But just to be ready to adjust. And most of the time, they'll see something that they'll make an adjustment already, or they'll talk to each other before even coming to me and asking about it, which is fine. These girls have a very good IQ when it comes to volleyball, and I trust them to make decisions on the court. I would rather they actually do that because they, in hindsight, are actually seeing the court better than I can from the sideline. So for the most part, I'll help them out if they need to, or I'll make a final decision if I really want them staying somewhere else. But I give them pretty much free reign as far as what offense and defense they want to run. My setter runs the offense. I will give her clues every once in a while if there's a mismatch that I see in the front row. But for the most part, she's running the court. So it's fun to see. I've got some great defensive players. My outside hitter is actually committed to play libero at the college level. She's a better libero, and you would never know watching her on the court playing from the outside and putting some balls down. But she sees the court very well and can run the defense by herself back there as well and just call out, we need to be running hip coverage or being able to stay on the sideline because they're swinging line, that kind of stuff. So I really give them quite a bit of the opportunity to just kind of decide for themselves. If we need to make changes, then I'll call a timeout and make sure that I implement a different defense. But for the most part, I get to stay out of it. It's kind of nice.
Coach, do you feel that presents an advantage to you, that intuition your players have with that maturity?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I got very lucky when I took over this program that a lot of these girls had some experience at the club level too and playing at very high levels there, making it to the national tournament. So they've gained that experience and rolled with it. And just being able to work with them and understand their insight and their mentality. We've actually done really well with each other and kind of learning off of each other and working through that. They know that I trust them and I know that, they trust me. It's kind of a mutual respect thing. And again, when you have that, they pretty much already know what I'm thinking. I'll give them a look and they'll fix it right away. So kind of nice to have.
Yeah, because, the reality is we don't play anymore. Once they cross the line, we're done. It's their deal. It's their game. So with that,
exactly.
With that being said, then when you get to the locker room today and they're gathering, they're milling around, they're doing the things they've done all season long and preparing themselves for this first regional game against Mullen High School. Are you looking for anything? Are you looking for any looks or movements that would cause you to say something to someone, or are you just letting them kind of work it through on their own and bring it to you when they need to?
The experience kiddos, I don't really expect to have to say a ton to them. They already know the scenario, they know the situation, they've been here before. It's the few that we've got that have not been at this level before that I'll kind of be focusing on a little bit more. Not that they're not going to be able to handle it, but they just haven't had to have this pressure. And I tell them in timeouts often that pressure is a privilege. We've gotten to this point, we've got the number 3 seed coming in, and for them to realize that people are coming after them and not panic and take that and just be super nervous is a big deal. And so I just remind them that you guys got here, you're here for a reason, you worked so hard and accomplished all of these things to get to this point. Don't let that crumble now because you're nervous. It's okay to be nervous, but what do you do with those nerves when you get onto the court and make them a positive thing? So it's those two that I haven't really seen in this aggressive environment. and pressure environment for the state playoff run that I'm going to be kind of a little bit more focused on. Not that I won't watch the others. There are still some nerves and anxiousness in them as well, but they seem to be able to handle it a little bit better.
Well, it sounds like you've, if I understand what you're saying, is that when you feel and see anxiety or fear or panic, you're asking your players to wrap their brain around that feeling and bring it in rather than trying to push it away. And then are you also asking them to go do something that they are comfortable with and they can control, so that they get that confidence back and they quickly resolve it?
Yeah, it starts with warm-up. That's something that we have absolute control over our own bodies. Nobody's hitting the ball at us. We get to go out there and just kind of take those nerves and start to transfer that into just, pushing the ball down on the court and making sure that it's in. That just helps get, the focus back on the volleyball piece and pushing the nerves elsewhere, right, just like you said, and using them in a positive manner. But I always tell them, focus on the warm-up. We don't have to go out and kill a ball right away and make it on the 2-foot line, but it needs to be in. That just raises their level of confidence, helps push those nerves off to the side a little bit, and then they figure out what to be able to do with them in a positive manner so they're not panicking and shaking balls or hitting them out of bounds, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know that you've talked about challenging your players during pregame warm-up so that you work those nerves out and they see the success, build the confidence, and structure a foundation of resolve in preparation for the game. I like that you asked the ladies to look at raising their game up. Whatever they do really well, you ask them do better, find a better place than you found before, as an example to their teammates. How is that kind of feeling and that success you've had through this season going to place itself throughout the tournament? Because I know that the first game, I've said to athletes as well as teams that you need to set a tone to everybody else who's watching this first game. Is that something you're concerned or not concerned about? You're focusing on and looking to do in the first game, kind of make a statement?
Yeah, absolutely. And A, it'll raise the confidence level of our own players, and B, it does set the tone for opponents coming in, and they'll know that we mean business. If we come in and we start to play the level of the opponent that we are at across the net, and another team sees that, they're not going to take us as seriously as we want them to, across the other side of the net, and they're going to think, coming in, oh, well, we've got this team, or they'll get a run on us in a couple places because our serve receive isn't doing well, and that kind of stuff. It actually exposes our weaknesses a little bit more than I want it to. So I would prefer that they raise up to the level every single match that we see from here on out, for sure. The teams we see are only going to get better. And so if we can at least make a statement and set our own confidence level that way, the rest of the teams, we can't control what they do, but we can control ourselves. That's definitely something I want to see.
Let me remind everybody that we're talking with Coach Dacia Ago. She is the head coach of the Niwot Cougar women's volleyball team. They are a 4A class team out of 5 classifications. They are ranked number 3 in the state, which is why they are hosting their regional tournament at Niwot High School. Dacia, is there anything else about your environment that the girls are in that contributes to their resolve, their confidence, their levels of success, other than what happens on the court during practice?
Few years back, it's probably been about 4 or 5 years now, that I really changed my coaching style. I had a group of young ladies that were very talented, and we weren't getting results that I thought we should be getting. And as a coach, that's frustrating. But I was more of the yell and scream kind of person, and I had a group of them come up to me in a very adult-like manner, which impressed the heck out of me, and just tell me that method doesn't work for them. And so I kind of stepped back and looked at it and said, you're right, this isn't working. Definitely something that I can change on my side, and let's see what happens. So from then on, I really approached it with a more positive atmosphere. Like, you make a mistake, I'm not going to yell at you. I don't pull you off the court. I will give you chances to fix it, which shows that I trust them, gives them a little bit more trust back in me. And then, in practice, of course I'm going to hold them accountable. I still get frustrated, there's no doubt about that, but it's been a little bit more managed as far as my reaction to them, and it's a more constructive environment instead of just this yelling, screaming match that really doesn't accomplish anything. We keep it light, we keep it fun, but we still work hard. They know what the mentality needs to be in practice. They know they have to work hard for it. And as long as we can do that and accomplish what we need from practice, we can still enjoy it. I've got a Wilson ball that we use that the girls get to pass around from teammate to teammate. That's meant to just kind of bring light and keep everything in perspective. That it is a sport, and we're here to have fun and enjoy it still while we're competitive. Wilson gets given out to a teammate who's done something goofy in practice that week. So tripping over a line or getting a kill off of their head. This game is one example of why Wilson gets passed around. So you've got to keep it light. You've got to keep it fun. They're still kids after all. You've got to realize that they, need to have lives outside of school and volleyball. It's not okay to just focus on all of that. They need to enjoy something. So that's kind of the environment I've tried to create for them, and hopefully they're going to take it and run. But then they also know that they have somebody they can come back to if they need, to have a conversation or a hug or whatever it is, because something in their world isn't going right.
Well, as an observer, Daisha, you have done that in a big way and on every point. I want to also mention to my audience that this is our show today is about high school playoff preparation. We're talking to Daisha Ago, the head volleyball coach at the Niwot Cougars women volleyball program. I also want to mention that she has a great environment and community around her. The parents, the stands, when I watch what they say and do, both during the games as well as the pre-game and post, it's great to see that sense of community camaraderie that she promotes. And quite honestly, they have a 4-star restaurant that shows up at every game at home. The food is amazing. I'm looking at these moms bringing this stuff in. I'm going, are you like you own a restaurant? They go, no, we just kind of, threw this together, kind of stuff. It's amazing to see the event happen. And look, I understand that Niwot High School and Coach Ago's Cougars are not the only teams in the country or in the state of Colorado that do it right. I'm just using them as an example to emphasize, do it right. Create an environment that builds the smiles, joins families together in an effort to have fun. So, Coach Ago, as I finish up the show today, I want to make sure I say to you, good luck and have fun. I'll see you in a few to cheer you on, and I appreciate greatly your participating in our show today. You're listening to 360 Performance Talk on KUHSdenver.com. We're talking about high school playoff prep week, and it's going to continue throughout the rest of the month with volleyball, and then we've got football going on in various parts of the country. Colorado is going to get started here, and then you start a whole other season of different sports. Basketball will be starting, and then we get into the seasons in the spring and the rest of the winter. It's a great time to be part of high school sports. So once again, thanks to Coach Ago. Have a great day. I'm going to say goodbye to you, and then goodbye to our fans and our listeners. Everybody out there that's listening, we got a couple minutes left of the show. I thank you to my Facebook watchers, the breakup there. We'll get it right. I know we will. And to thank you to my colleagues and friends here at KUHS Denver for being patient and understanding, especially when we made some new changes with adding video from pre-recorded video with Tommy Falk. He was on with us today. Good luck to the Blue Jays Saturday, tomorrow, during their game against Shandley High School, and they're going to win their semifinal game and go on to the state tournament at the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota. But remember, this is a great place to be in the state of Colorado, especially on a Friday at 11 when you listen to 360 Performance Talk. I'm your host, Lowell Whiteman, here at KUHSdenver.com. I'm going to segue here and bring you a little bit of music and end the show with some James Brown. Baby, you're right.
You think I love you? Well, baby, you're right. If you think I want to hurt,
see you, everybody.
Well, baby, you're right. I want to love, I want to hug you, 'cause I